Well, good morning, everyone, and happy weekend. Hope you're having a great start to it so far. I unfortunately have to work as the day progresses. I would rather be relaxing, like I'm sure many people are. But we've entered on kind of a weird note, little sprinkle of red, little sprinkle of green, the market not really wanting to make a confirmation in terms of direction one way or another, which is kind of strange because yesterday we actually got some data that was really good, but yet we saw some red in the space. And I do want to talk about that in this video with you guys. Want to bring up something that I saw that I thought was pretty funny. Want to talk about a comment from a viewer and highlight actually something that is taking place in just 5 days that everyone should be aware of. So if you guys are new or haven't already, show your support for the channel down below. Hit that subscribe button, that bell. It's free to do. It'll keep you updated anytime there's new content live here on the channel. So yes, we did see a little bit of red yesterday. ADA was actually down, 5.4% or so. We closed down in around the ranges that we're at right now, about 41.5 cents. This is that move we were talking about potentially taking place as the market got the PCE data and basically we saw that volatility. We saw a little spike in volume. And of course, we ended up seeing some leverage liquidations. Go figure. We actually saw $303 million worth of long liquidations over the last 24 hours. That's kind of tracks. It's what we've been dealing with a lot as of late. But something I will mention is that leverage around the market just continues to drop. We keep setting these lower lows in terms of open interest, which is continues to be a very promising sign if we want to actually make some progress. But it kind of feels like this is exactly what we did back here. And so now we're just waiting to see, hey, where is this bottom going to be? Is it going to be down around that 39.5 cent range like we talked about? Is it going to set up somewhere in between there? It's possible. Something I did want to mention on the charts here is we are actually building a bit of an inverse head and shoulders here. So we could still go lower and still have this be intact. Here's our neckline. If I could draw a straight line, which I can't, I should try, whatever. You guys get the point. And hopefully we can try to break this neckline as we get into next week, because remember, next week we do have our FOMC meeting. Now, why this is such a big deal is the data we got yesterday just makes it that much easier for the Fed to actually cut rates. We got our PCE data. We came in better than expected, 2.8% versus 2.9% expected. So yeah, that's a very positive thing. And what's weird about this day yesterday is that this drop took place right after that, despite the good data. So doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. We obviously know what is going on in the crypto market, what we're dealing with. And actually that brings me to this comment from a viewer, Sung Jack Wang. Appreciate the comment. He said, thanks, really enjoy your channel. I have a question. Why are people selling ADA despite the good news ahead and sound ecosystem? Is it manipulation, profit taking, or no confidence, or they knew something that I do not know? I'm pretty new to crypto and I'm here to learn. Appreciate the comment. So I've for a long time said that there's a lot of manipulation going on, and some people disagree with me, but we obviously know the large entities have very convenient timing with what's taking place in the crypto market right now. They seem to be launching all these products and services right as retail is dealing with some of their shakeouts. A lot of what we're dealing with right now is people just having this big PTSD surrounding the historic top. And if you're new to crypto, historically markets have 4-year cycles. It's about 3 years and 11 months. And so what we tend to see is around mid-October is when we would have seen our historic top if we were following the 4-year cycle. And so we saw some profit taking. We see people freaking out. We see a lot of people screaming from the hilltops that it's over. Actually, that's a perfect segue into this. I saw this on Twitter. I thought this was funny as hell. But the thing is again, right now, a lot of the data isn't showing that the top is in. Really, the thing that shows that the top, quote unquote, is in is just the time. All right. Yeah, we've had a couple few things in the charts show this, but everything else is fighting very strongly against that narrative. We're going to have to watch and wait and see what happens. But unfortunately, a lot of people tend to sell and take profit right before times get really exciting in the crypto market. And, retail just historically has horrible timing. And that's why I think it's kind of funny that a lot of people think that the top is in. And do you really think that retail was able to get it right this time, and all these other big entities that are doing their accumulating, you really think they're wrong? Probably not, but I digress. Now, A couple other things I wanted to talk about here. Strange day in terms of institutional money. They flipped back to the buying side despite the red day. $54 million worth of BTC accumulated on the institutional side. Big Ethereum sell day, $75 million unloaded there. Many other assets actually saw some inflows, but I won't really talk too much about that. Now I forget what other things were popping up here. Oh yeah. So Jim Cramer said the financial markets are not looking good. So maybe the inverse Cramer will be in effect here, and we can get a rally off of this announcement, right? Now, that being said, I did want to mention something in terms of strategy here as well. We obviously know that there was talks about Strategy having to sell and that they might be forced to sell their BTC. And the CEO of Strategy actually came out on Friday and said it was all really FUD. He said we weren't going to have to issue or we weren't going to have an issue to be able to pay back our dividends, and we weren't likely going to have to tap into our Bitcoin selling. But there was FUD that was put out there that we weren't going to be able to meet our dividend obligations, which causes people to pile into a short Bitcoin bet. And that's what a lot of these past, this big thing right here, this was all people freaking out about Strategy. And then it caused just a big liquidation. Now, not really a liquidation event, but multiple days of massive liquidations. Again, remember, we saw days of over $1 billion in long leverage liquidated multiple times. So it's just all been FUD. It's about trying to spin these narratives that are bringing down the crypto market. And right now, what we're dealing with is the market trying to cut through a lot of that negative, false information. All right. In fact, during this time, guys, we talked about obviously the fund they set aside for paying dividends. They actually raised this. They raised $1.44 billion. So remember what he had said. He said, if we can't raise money, if we fall below MNAV, but guess what? Neither of those are really a thing right now. So that's at least all looking really good. Now, that being said, I did want to mention something here as well. Midnight is actually going to be supported by Bybit. Midnight is going to be supported by OKX. So we're seeing big embrace for Midnight from some of these major exchanges around the world. And it seems like there's going to be a lot of tier 1 and tier 2 listings right out of the gate, which again brings more exposure to the Cardano ecosystem, brings some real big opportunities for Night token and Midnight itself. Obviously, we know about the 100+ partnerships that are there. Hopefully can really get things kicked off. Obviously, Midnight, if you're not familiar, utilizes Cardano consensus. So it already increases the demand for ADA. Now, for those that weren't familiar, the redemption phase is beginning very shortly. It's not December 8th. It's actually December 10th. So we're only, 4 or 5 days away from this. I will be doing a video when these redemptions do start. I want to walk people through it. I pretty much use Lace Wallet, that's where one of my wallets is, but I'll show you guys how to do it with Lace so that everybody's familiar, similar to what I did with the scavenger mine and then the claiming phase as well. But guys, that also coincides with this FOMC meeting that's taking place next week. So we got a big week ahead. Hopefully it's a week that can bring us some more positivity. Again, still just pay attention. We could be going lower still. At some point too, we might also see liquidations to the upside. There's very heavy shorting going on in the market. I wouldn't be surprised if we did get a little push of energy again and some short leverage liquidations. Just remember back here, this was obviously back on Tuesday that we saw all that excitement. Love to see a day like that again. But I appreciate you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below, but have a great day. Catch you guys in the next one. Take care.